Run it back, 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 run it back, 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 run it back, 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 back.
Hi guys, welcome to Archetype Insights with me, Sharon Dane. Today I will be highlighting something about employment and the way if your bosses treat you unfairly in the workplace, and that to an opposite gender, how you should frame your mind and what should be your decisions to work with that people or those chunk of people again, or to face them again, or do you really want to work with them? Okay, so everything we're gonna be covering, which is pretty much happening out there with everybody in the corporate world. So I just gone through a lot of severe experiences in my life, wherein we will talk about it in a short while, because I wanted to restructure everything what I have faced in the corporate world, and how you gonna take those experiences, learn from it, and develop so that when you face those type of people again, those stereotypical people and those ill-minded people, what strategies you can apply which can really help you to come out from that mindset of pleading, expelling, pleading to the job as a job seeker, rather than being more confident to face the people in today's life by withstanding with minimal possibility of talent and skills that can highlight your mind and make your worth happen, so that you don't have to face again those brutal people who never valued you on the first place, because once they do that, there is a similar possibility of repetition, because people don't change, literally they don't change. In a short while we'll discuss it. Well, guys, I just thought of coming a little bit too hot in here, so just thought of come up something which could make me feel light and delightful. Um, well, guys, I've gone through some great experiences of working with some brilliant brands which will be my struggle to enter into and realize for the fact that this brand's gonna be or believing or having a false belief that this brand can change my life or my career forever. But the reality is nothing really changes for you. It's you have to develop, construct, and see if there is a possibilities of growth and development. You can do that. You can change yourself onto the next level, or else change the company. And once you do it, never to step back or never to go back, because if you do, you're never gonna develop yourself to complete potential. So I just have to highlight few examples of mine. Like, I've been working for great brands like Godrej and Boys, Cherry Burgers, and so many great companies, even companies in abroad. But what I have felt like, some companies really teach you well. It actually mold your potential and understand. Like the place like Jerry Burgers have really seen the potential what is there in you, and they cherish you. They build you up as a person, and give you certain projects or certain areas where you will be more talented and much more expressive, because these are like HR consultants who are highly skilled to identify and work with the protocol of identifying the right talent, the right skill, and if they're employing those talent in-house, what kind of nurture and what kind of inputs you would expect as a management, and in the meantime you require them to change and understand from the project point of view, so that you can be utilized in a different projects with sustained quality. and ultimatum is to face a client, the delegate. So I've gone through great places, but also I faced some challenges working in the corporate way. Your bosses have an eye on you, have a very wicked eye, and they want to utilize your talent, make sure that you don't grow within the competition, but ensure that they get everything what they wanted, from you. So this kind of a dilemma is pretty much out there in the man's world when you're facing some very stereotypical people, stereotypical from their mindset. They have really locked up in the cage, and they don't want it to change it, because if they do so, they would be subjected to questions and embarrassment, and they don't even have a zeal to or a heart to convince and make the amendments of change and frictions of new development within the area. So area of work, I mean to say, or within that subjective contributional perspective is concerned. So what I believe is, when you have gone through some kind of embarrassments in the workplace, and when you wanted some position, or you wanted some kind of appreciation, or your work has to be seen and appreciated or rewarded, when nothing has really happened as such, uh, what you can do the best is to learn, and keep learning in whatever ways possible. If not within the group or within the umbrella, within the organization, you are appreciated, but you can have your self satisfaction that you're learning some skills and developing your talent to enhance your next level, and you can apply for a new job positions and competitions out there, which can really help you and boost and understand that you're capable to apply for that positions, rather not to waste every year. Yeah, so you can definitely jump into it. But what I have realized, there are also some kind of employers, like in the recent past, I don't want to name the brand, but then I just felt so sickening, because I came from an international location where I learned many things, how to manage with a project in from the point of view, and worked with some really talented project managers who worked abroad, and got a very good hands-on experiences in their life. And then when you have lived abroad, you have seen a lot of bad times, and you face a lot of challenges in there, because in the mother country, people welcome you to some extent, maybe 1-2%, but in the abroad country, it's full of challenges. They don't really welcome you, but that's where you wanting to really show your talent and sustain your quality of dedicated work, and much more challenging times. However, my experience in abroad would have been really very beautiful. At times it had its own fault, but then by God's grace I was arise again. And even if I've been fallen, I've fallen with grace. So yeah, I hope you understand that. So I feel like um, you should not disconnect from your God and duties whomsoever you believe before approaching to the workplace, because these are small discipline, but it will really help you in terms of your conscious mind, in order to open up to learn many things, because when you're working, your brain should be out opened, and to download and to accept much more downloads of the daily routine challenges and project requirements and expectations are. Guys, work is all about projects. Project is what creation, and in order to sustain that particular project, or the service which is being done, or being set and well executed before you, or even decades before you, all you have to just go into the flow, and let it flow. Let that flow happen, and let execute certain strategies wherein that flow should not be stopped. So it's all about how you think for the work. uh, on the contrary, when somebody interviews you and when you have come from abroad with great experiences, and there's another person who is equally competent to you, but she look better than you, and your boss really like to, get that person on board and give them the job, it's kind of in a full disgrace to what your talent and your profile is. No matter whatever the excuses they make, they made a point that they don't want to accept it because it don't look good, or you're not very pleasing, or you're not very compelled. Because most of the time, what I see, the bosses look for women who can actually surrender or become more submissive rather than, more stay headstrong and much more competitive, because that's kind of a challenge they don't want to face in daily routine life, because that's gonna be taking over their breath away and a lot of pressure of work, and on the top there's a possibility of getting much more perks and promotions, on the other end, so they don't want to accept it either. So the man politic and man world remains the same. You can't do anything. But as a woman, you can appreciate their decisions and walk away. And when that same person rings you back, when it come back to you, when you have taken off somewhere, then you really feel like to hold his head and crunch and eat it, because it's not a good gesture. It's really not a good gesture, because it really symbolizes either you're a coward, that you cannot face a truth that I am capable or talented than that person is, and or either you're a failure master, because you cannot train the person who cannot meet up to the competition, and if you fail to train them, you come back to us who already been gone through those similar experiences. So what made you to choose that person rather than the person who's talented? So the question is, why you have to make a wrong choice in the first place? Second, if you made a wrong choice, where you train the person. So an employer should have that much of talent and skill within them. They foresee the danger, they foresee the future perspective, and they foresee what should be the outcome with this person, and how that person can be reactive to the atmosphere with the people, and what is going to be the right decision I'm going to be making for my long-term perspective. And something called as training, which you should not stop, guys, because even if you are a multinational company, well set up, you have everything keep moving and booming, whatever it is, you don't need to training people. No, that's not true. Every day there should be a 15 minutes of training. Every weekend there should be a meeting and discussion for bringing out new topics to train, so that your vision, your perspective is met in order to sustain certain quality and standard of your brand. And ultimatum is, men and gentlemen and ladies out there, or men and the women working out there, or anybody working out there, ultimatum is your brand. Ultimatum is your product. Ultimatum is your service. There's nothing more than these three aspects. So if you're able to meet with the good quality and principles and discipline to sustain this three project or three dimensions which can make the organization, I think you're ready, set and go. You don't have to fear from anyone. And whatever happens with the meetings and decisions in man management or manpower management or training and development, it's just a part and parcel of daily routine life. So you just have to take like pork and just chew it like a chewing gum, throw it in the trash. It does not affect too much, right? But I don't feel great for those people who wanted to turn back to me when in the dire time, I was so ready to join the company. I was so prepared because you're not working for yourself and for your beauty regime or for your looks and for your makeovers. You're working for your family, dude. You're working for your children. You're working for your family members, and you're working for your reputation in the society. You're working for maybe new education you wanted to take, or maybe some new skills you wanted to build within you, or maybe you have got certain financial plans to meet up. So when you have all that lined up, and when some bosses just go with the flow of good looks and beautiful face and beautiful figure, do you think you call them as an employer, or you ask them a question why you are here? So I think you should ask him a question next time, that why you're here, man. I'm like, you should rather be on the street and just whistle when some new face goes, or take a toll on the street, right? So you are nothing great than the mobs are, as equal to the mob people. So the little suggestion is to identify who's the right employer. People who actually have a great attitude to carry, who think wiser, who is out there, outspoken, speak out loud, and have a little aggression with them. That's the right employer to work with. Not with someone who actually look for your possibilities of your, what would you say, your weaknesses, and make use of your weaknesses and utilize for themselves, and make sure that you fall into their trap. Say no to those devils, because they are said to be and meant to be only in the dust and the trash, right? You are meant to do good and always keep up with your worth. Guys, your education builds your worth. Your discipline builds your worth. The family from where you have grown, that can build up your worth. Your daily belief systems upon deities and upon your rituals and practices, that build up your worth. And understand this small concept. When you believe in small little things, in the natural elements that could make your worth and respect, which can build your self-respect. You don't want to lose your self-respect because you're in a certain situation, or because you're looking for something, and you fall into the trap of some kind of bullshit people whom they call as an employer. You qualified employer, better you know your selection, and when you have made your selection already, do not hassle to stay down from your decision, because your decision has impacted someone's life already. There's no point and no chance to rework on it, okay? Because once you rejected that person is dead and dusted. You cannot call them back from the grave, right? So the best is to forget about it, make your movement on, because maybe the spirit guides and the soul want something else for you. You never know. Alright? So next time, identify who's the right boss, with whom you should grow or you should not grow. Okay? Until the next insight, this is me, Sharon Dane.
Back, run it, back, 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 back.